Welcome to Oracle SQL and PLSQL session. So there are different types of cursors. So this one we have seen bulk collect, and these are all the different types of cursors. The cursor we have two types. One is implicit cursor, another one is explicit cursor. In the explicit cursor, we do have different cursors. So one is the named cursor that we have seen, right? So this is what we have seen so far, named cursor. And we do have cursor for loop. So that we will see parameterized cursor and ref cursor. So these concept you will see rest of the sessions. Okay. So named cursor only we have seen, we have opened the cursor, we have fetched the values and all this. Cursor for loop that we will see now. And ref cursor is nothing but referenced cursor. It will do the same, whatever we are doing it here, same operation it will do. So we do have two different ref cursors. One is nothing but strongly typed ref cursor. Another one is weakly typed ref cursor. By default, if you are not defining any return type, it will take weakly typed ref cursor. So those things we will take it later. Okay, I will tell you. So these are all the different types of cursor, and we have seen implicit cursor already that we are not handling it. See, you have some 100 records here. 100 records here. It is looping one by one. It went up to 100. The next record, what it will get? Next record, it will get not found, right? Cursor not found. This is the cursor. Is the place. See, this is my cursor, right? This is the cursor of my system. The same way in system, it will point the cursor. See, one by one record. Record is not found. That's what you will get it. Cursor not found. 4 attributes we have. So first 3 attributes are Boolean data type. Boolean data type. The 4th attributes are, it will return the count of the values. See, this is the base table. You have multiple records from here. You are declaring the cursor here. We'll declare one work area here, right? Open you are going to open it. Then you are fetching all the values from the base table to your PLSQL work area here, your memory locations. So this is what the cursor. Fetching the values one by one, you are iterating the values, right? And then if it is not found, it will iterate one by one. If it is not found, it needs to come out of the loop, right? It needs to come out of the loop. That's why we are making C1 not found. So when it has to come out, if you don't use it, what will happen? If you don't use it, what will happen? Fetch C1 into all this, it will go, right? It will go out of range, it will go for, right? So it is raising some exceptions. Buffer overflow. Why? Why? Because it is going out of the loop, out of all the records, one by one, all the records it's making. It is not going to the next record. It is going to the always last record. It is not coming out of the loop. So you have to come out of the loop. Okay. So we have seen cursor, all the cursor types and everything. So just we'll go for next one is called cursor for loop. The same thing we can achieve by using the cursor for loop. So in the cursor for loop, we can go for a composite data types. Okay, so we can define multiple columns and we can go for composite data type. What is that? So this is the syntax of this cursor for loop. So remember always the syntax for this is record index. Okay, for so normally we'll put it like a record or record index in this is the keyword. Okay, for record index in cursor name looping statement loop and end loop. Inside we can go for any executable statement. Okay, clear? So the cursor name we are defining it here, and this is what we have to do. And this is like inside begin and end. But before that, we have to declare the cursor. Okay, so how can I do it all this? We'll see one by one. So here I'm going to use. So first I'm going to declare it. Okay, so declare begin and end. Okay, so within the begin and end, I want to fetch the data. So for an example here, I'm just defining the cursor. How will you define the cursor? For an example, I want to take phone number, salary from the base table. I want to take phone number and salary from the base table. Cursor C1. Okay, the cursor name, you can put any name is okay. This is the syntax. Cursor name is select statement. So I'm going to select phone underscore number, comma, salary from employees. Got it? So what is this? This is a declaration part. After declaration part, what you have to do here? After declaration part, we have to open, fetch, close, right? So instead of open, close, and all this, you can go for the cursor for loop. It's very simple. You can use for the record index. You can use record or record, whatever it may be. You can go for rec. Okay. So if you see the syntax for record index in cursor name in C1, then you can take loop. So loop, end loop, right? So take loop and end loop. So here we have to write some DBMS output. You can write DBMS output here. Okay, I want this one, right? The rec dot phone number, phone underscore. See, it's very simple. No need to define the data type and all the columns one by one here, local variables. And here rec dot salary. So this is nothing but rec is nothing but composite data type. Okay. So if you see this rec is nothing but composite data type. Composite means multiple columns are there. That's a composite data type. Okay. So end loop. No need to close the cursor, all this. So just you can execute. So this is the okay. I'm just making the phone number. I will put one hyphen here. If you want to put salary here, yes, you can put salary, single quotes. Okay. So this way, if you're going to execute, you'll get cursor for loop. Okay, salary for this employee is nothing but 6,000, right? Salary is 6,000 and phone number. You can put the same way here, phone number of the employee. You want to take phone number one line, then you have to take salary is another line. It's how you are taking that. Okay, you have to define phone number, single quotes. So you can define it. Okay, phone number, you are taking the phone number here and salary here. So if you are using cursor for loop, then no need to open, fetch and close it. So automatically this for loop will take that cursors. Okay. If you see this is the cursor for loop. If you want to go for a particular department, yes, you can use particular department here. So this one I'm going with cursor with parameter. The cursor with parameter, and we are using some parameter here. Say for an example here, I'm using this particular statement. You assume that this particular statement. Okay. So what this statement will do, this particular statement will do. So first I'm taking the declaration part. These two are variable. You know already, these two we have seen already. Variable. I'm just defining two cursors. So one cursor is for department ID 30. Department ID 30. Another cursor is for another select statement. So here I'm using two different statements. Even you can have, this is two different tables also. Okay. This is one table. This is another table you can use. So this one is selecting department from 60. This one is selecting department 30. It's two different cursor. So begin, open cursor, loop and fetch department ID 30. So we are looping it and we are getting it, right? End loop. Then close this cursor. Whatever we have opened, just we are closing it. And again, we are closing one more cursor, then we are doing it, right? So we have two different select statements. So for that select statement, we have used two different cursor. We have opened and closed. See here. So this is the department ID. So if you want, you can put one more DBMS output. You can see, you can mention that, okay, these data are from department ID 30. These data are from department ID 60. So we have printed all the values here. So how many cursor we have used? Two cursor we have used, two different cursor. But instead of using this way, you can go for cursor with parameter. Okay. So cursor with parameter. So whatever we are defining here, say for an example, it's very simple. If you use this way, the same statement, how much line we are typing, instead, we can go for this way. This is cursor for loop with parameter. Instead of writing this way, two cursors we are writing, right? So what is that? This way we are defining two different cursors. So C underscore department 30, C underscore department 60. So instead of writing this way, we can write the cursor by using parameterized one. So how can I write? So declare begin and end. So inside the declare, I'm just declaring cursor. Okay. Just to take the cursor name is select statement, right? Select salary. Okay. From employees, where class you have to put, where the department ID you have to pass it, where department underscore ID equal to whatever the department I'm going to pass as a parameter. Okay, say for an example, I want to pass the PRM underscore DEPT number. So this is the parameter. So this parameter, I have to pass it on this cursor. Here I have to use, it's a department number as the number data type. So this way I can use the cursor with parameter. So why? Because instead of using select first name salary from employees where department ID equal to 30, instead of using this way, whatever I'm going to use the select statement here, okay, the select statement here, and this select statement here, we are passing department ID 30 and we are getting all the values. So instead of that, we can use single cursor with parameter. So if I'm going to use C parameter 30 is open this one, then it will take 30th department. If I'm going to use C 60, then it will take department ID 60 here. Okay. So it's very simple. We can use it. Okay. How can I use? It's very simple. First, we have declared the cursor. Then what you need to do? Open cursor, right? So we have to open the cursor with the parameter. I'm going to open the cursor with the parameter, for an example, 30. See, open the cursor. Okay. So with parameter 30, I have opened. Open the cursor. So after opening, what I have to do? I have opened the cursor. I have to fetch the values. So how many records I have to fetch? All the records which are available on the department ID, what we are passing here. Okay. So can I go with loop? Yes, you can use loop and end loop, right? Same thing I'm going to use. So open cursor. So I can take this one, DBMS output. Okay, these two lines you can take. Okay, so I have to fetch it, right? Yes, I have to use fetch cursor name. Fetch cursor name into what is the variable? This select salary, right? So this variable you have to use, correct? So I have to use v underscore salary. I'm just defining as number data type. Okay. So this valid, this particular V salary. So fetch C1 into V salary. Is it clear? It's similar. Okay. So opening the cursor with the parameter 30, just to looping and looping, just to fetch cursor name into P salary, exit when department. Okay, this is not the correct one. Exit when C1 not found. Then we are making only P salary. We are not taking here, right? This is end loop. Then after end loop, what should I do? I have to close this cursor, whatever I have opened. The same way, I can open one more cursor with 60. That's it. You can just copy it and paste it. If you want to go for something, you have to write it here before going for the loop. So this is the data for department underscore ID 60, right? 60. So I'm just giving the hard coded value. In real time, you'll be passing through parameters. So these values, you can pass it through parameters. Okay. Before looping, do it. Otherwise, what will happen? It will go for number of times. How many number of times it is going for, that many number of times it will print. So you have to close the cursor, close C1. So this end is for this begin. Okay. I think we have defined correctly. Okay. If you see this, we are getting, this is the data for department number 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 records we have. And department number 60, we are getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 records we have, right? So, but here you can put C1 percentage row count. Why? Because we have opened and closed it, right? So how many records? So total number of records in department number 60, you can put it. If I want to go for one more time, for one more department, then you can copy this and paste it one more time. You can use the same use of the code. Okay. This is called cursor with parameters. Cursor with parameters. Yes. This is the one cursor with parameters. This is cursor without parameters. Okay. So you have two types of data, right? Yes, you can use this way. Cursor name, cursor name, parameter list is select statement. That's what we have written. If you see this cursor name, the parameter list here is select statement. Clear? Then we are using the same parameter list here. So in the var class, then it will be passed. So I hope you are clear. So how to use cursor with parameter. This is single table, right? But if I want to go for two different tables, the employees and departments. So that is what rep cursor will be used. Okay. If it is single department, yes, you can pass the only parameter here. Then cursor will be taking employees table. Say for an example, I want to go for a department table. Can I use single cursor? No, I cannot use it. Why? Because this cursor is for employees table, right? I cannot use the same cursor for departments table. So that departments table, the number of columns are different. I cannot use it here. So that you can go for. This is the same way. Cursor with parameter. Okay, so cursor C1, number is the parameter name, and this is a number data type is select statement. Employees where department ID equal to this number we are passing. Yes, we are creating temp variable here. So this variable will have all the employees row type. Okay, full entire employees data. It will take the whole day. So for temp, this is a variable name, right? In this is the for cursor for loop, and we are passing the parameter here. Previously, we haven't passed parameter, right? Cursor for loop for record in C1. See here for temp, this is a composite data type. In C1, we are passing a parameter. That means we are passing only for department ID equal to 30. So in that department 30, it will be printed with parameters. Okay, so employee number, employee name, department, and salary. So no need to use the close cursor. So why? Because we have used cursor for loop. Okay, it will do the same thing. Okay, it is doing the same thing, selecting the data from this, but we have used different method to take it. So I hope you are clear. So this is cursor for loop with parameters. Yes, cursor with parameters. Yes, that's what we have seen now. And this is for one particular table. This is for one particular table, right? We want to go for two different tables. I want to use one for employees table and the other one is departments table. This one also I have given. Just to go through that, this is for cursor for loop with parameters. Then we can go for, say for an example, I want to go for, here we are using one table, right? But I want to use two tables. So how can I use it? So if I want to use two tables, how can I use it? Can I use the same cursor? I want to go for a departments table. I want to go for departments table. Cursor. I can take C2. Okay, so if you want, you can take C1. And I'm not using any parameter here. Cursor C1 is select department ID, this one. I want to use two different tables. There is no join condition also. You assume that there is no join condition also. Select department underscore name that I'm taking. Select salary from employees, right? Department name from departments. So I'm not using here where class. Just I'm taking all the data. Cursor C1 underscore EMP. Cursor C2 underscore department. Okay. So this one will hold employees data. This one will hold departments data, right? Okay. So I want to go for salary or department name or whatever it may be. Salary V underscore department underscore name. If you want to print department name, it is to varchar 2 of some 100 characters. So begin. So what you need to do? So open the cursor C1 underscore EMP, right? So I have opened the C1 departments. This is the data for employees data. Employees table. So this is the data for departments table. Okay, I'm not using any cursor parameter here. Open cursor. Just I have opened it here. I'm going for the loop, fetch C1 into V salary, right? Yes, it's correct, V salary. Exit when not found. We are just printing V salary, ending loop, and close the cursor. And we can open the another cursor. This cursor we have to open and we have to loop, fetch this one into this particular variable, right? C2 department into this one, exit when C2 is not found. Here also. Okay, not found. Then end loop. We are making V underscore department name. See all the department we are taking. Okay, close. C2 1. Everything I have written correctly. Anything I have missed? Exit when this is not found. Okay, first it will take all the employees data with salary, and then it will go for departments data, right? So 107 times, then 27 times it will go for. Even if you want to print the number of times it is going for the loop, yes, you can write the loop statement here. Okay, so instead of going this way to define two different cursor for two different tables, we can use ref cursor. So what is that ref cursor? See, here we are writing the statement here, right? In the declaration part itself, we are writing the select statement. See, instead of doing this select statement, you define the cursor here. You define the cursor here. Then dynamically you can pass the select statement inside the begin. Inside the begin, whatever the select statement you want, so that you can pass it inside the begin and end. So if you want to write, okay, if you want to write employees table, yes, you can write employees table. If you want to write departments table, yes, you can write departments table. Got it? So that's what you can write ref cursor. So how can I write the ref cursor? I will tell you.